G'day ladies and gentlemen, just out for a leisurely Saturday ride on the new Harley-Davidson Nightster. Of course, a new base model sitting below the Sportster S, which launched earlier this year. They call it the Nightster. You'd think they'd call it the Sportster as it sits directly beneath the Sportster S, but I assume that they wanted to distance themselves from the reputation of the Sportster nameplate. People call them not a real Harley or a girl's bike. Don't worry, I totally resent the phrase girl's bike as well. It's juvenile and pretty sexist really, but people do say it, so you know what I mean. Anyway, it's called the Nightster. And I actually prefer to ride this bike than the Sportster, even though it's got the smaller motor. And that's simply because it's so much more playful. That's because it's got actually appropriate size wheels and tyres. The Sportster S has got big fat wheels, which undoubtedly look awesome, but they compromise its handling characteristics big time. This one feels good, steers well. And although it uses a 975cc version of the Revolution Max motor instead of the 1250 of the Sportster S, it's still pretty fast. I have absolutely no problems with this bike's outputs. 67 kilowatts and 90 newton meters. Here, I'll open it up. It pulls really well and all the way through the rev range. There's something I don't like about this motor, or at least the characteristics of it, and that's more to do with this ride-by-wire throttle. There seems to be a real disconnect between what happens at my right hand and what the engine wants to do. It sort of has a mind of its own, and if I'm honest, that pulls me out of the experience a bit, because as I said, there's nothing wrong with the performance of the motor. It's quick, but I just don't love the tune, and I don't love the feeling at that throttle. It doesn't give me any real confidence. So it's definitely not a perfect bike. There's things I like and there's things that I don't. It uses some pretty nice Showa suspension, does its job, and there's a Brembo, single disc Brembo setup at the front end, which is better than you'd reckon, because I thought that wouldn't be enough stopping power having a single disc, but I've had no problems with it. My real gripes really come down to that throttle and the fueling. It could just be to do with this particular unit, but I've had it stall on me a number of times. It really misbehaves when it's cold. Oh, lots of wheel spin there. But I'm sure all that could be fixed with a good tune. Anyway, the seating position is much like the Sportster S, a little bit less aggressive perhaps. It reminds me actually of the Lowrider S in its seating position, sort of mid-mounted foot pegs and nice mid-mounted flat bars. The Lowrider S is my favourite Harley ever, so that's absolutely a compliment from my end. There's 3 rider modes. The Sport Rider mode is really pretty twitchy off the bottom, but I'll give Harley a pass for that because it's really not so bad in the road mode. So, you know, you chuck it in the Sport mode when you want to ride kind of quick and you don't really care about how smooth it is at the bottom, off the bottom. G'day lads. We've got switchable traction control, non-switchable ABS, neither of which are very intrusive, which I'm pleased to report. It's not like one of those bikes where you feel like you're being babysat. And I think particularly with Harleys, you know, they're all about attitude and fun. So you want to be able to get loose. You want to feel like you're in control. You want to even feel like there's a bit of danger. Maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think of the styling. I think it looks alright, if not a little bit unfinished. Could be a little bit more refined, I think. One interesting thing is that this fuel tank, or well, it's not a fuel tank. The fuel tank's actually under the seat, which surely helps with weight distribution. I don't know what's under here, probably an airbox and some electronics and stuff. I definitely like the ergonomics, it really suits me. I really do feel like this is a worthy successor to the previous generation Sportsters. Definitely in terms of performance, it's much faster, much better equipped. Better in just about every way, although I do think something is lost. It's a little bit... It doesn't quite have as much soul, I don't think. I really don't like the way the Revolution Max engines sound. They're a bit metallic and... I don't want to say boxer spanners, but that'd be rude, but... I'd be interested to see what people do with aftermarket exhaust, because if you're on a Harley, you know, you want it to sound bloody good. It's part of the whole experience. And I don't think the Pan America, the Sportster S, or this, the exhaust note doesn't really do it for me. There's a guy about to smoke me on an Africa Twin behind me, I think. I don't think I'll be able to keep up with him around here. Definitely steers all right. Touch down there on the peg, I think. So this bike's priced from $23,995 last I checked, which is about $3 grand less expensive than the Sportster S. As I said, I think it's a more fun motorcycle. I did think that the Sportster S looked really tough, but once you get over looking really tough, you just, you know, you want to have fun, and I think this delivers more of that, honestly. I feel like there's more lean angle, I feel like there's more travel. Could be wrong, I have to check on that, but... And the difference in acceleration, at least under 100 kilometers an hour, is, I can barely tell. This thing is this thing's wheel spinning out of just about every one of those corners that I'm hitting. There's enough grunt here for sure. I guess it goes against things like the Triumph Bobber, maybe the Indian Scout. It's definitely a worthy successor, and I think as they refine this platform, as they refine that Revolution Max engine, it'll become a much better motorcycle. I think Harley-Davidson needs to work out an up-down quick shifter solution. I know that at least in North America you can get a quick shifter as an option for the Pan America. But you certainly can't get one as standard on Harley-Davidson, which I find really strange. But anyway, I think that's something they need to work out. Whoa, tough. Bit of muscle, eh? Man, this guy ain't playing. I'm actually working pretty hard to keep up with him. Wet road as well. Oh no, there's someone in front. Oh well. Hey mate.
The new one, yeah?
Yeah.
Just got it.
Yeah.
Came out last month, I think.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Best city in the world. Best city in the goddamn world.